Hello and welcome to this first exclusive video in relation to murder in a care home. Thank you so much for agreeing to join me. This is going to be an exciting journey between us. The first thing I want to say is I'm sorry you're not seeing my face on the screen, but I'm looking very blotchy. I have a few lesions on my nose and cheeks, and the doctor has said that they might turn into a cancer, so I'm having to treat them, and I'm treating them with this cream that makes them go bright red and become painful. Unfortunately, they've gone bright red, but they're not painful yet, and I can't stop the treatment till they're painful. So anyway, I'm sorry about that, but that's my excuse, and there's no way that I'm showing my face at the moment because it's just clearly embarrassing. But that's not what you're here for. You're here to have the first of the exclusive insights into murder in a care home. So I'm going to begin at the beginning. Spoiler alert, I am going to cover some of the content of chapter 1. So if you don't want to know what happens in chapter 1, not that I'm going to tell you everything, but if you don't want to know, now's your time to stop watching. So here we go. Imagine Lady Marjorie. She loves the first Monday of every month, and the reason she loves it is because she goes to the hairdressers locally in Hampstead, and she has a perm or a shampoo and set, whichever she's due. On this occasion, she's having a perm. She then goes for a manicure or a pedicure, and after that, she meets friends from the WI for lunch. WI, if you're American and don't know what that means, it's the Women's Institute. It's an organisation that's been going for donkey's years over in the UK, and they do lots of good work. So she is sitting in the hairdressers, and you can imagine her horror when she suddenly becomes the centre of attention and people are turning towards her. One woman in particular is having a right old jab with her finger, and Marjorie wonders what the heck she's on about. She's reading a gardening magazine and she thinks, surely gardening magazines can't be that much in demand that this woman wants a magazine. She can't hear a thing because her head's under the dryer. Anyway, the long and the short of it is that her mobile phone is ringing. Now, if you know and have read the Lady Marjorie series, you know she rarely carries a mobile phone and she never has it switched on. Well, it turns out that the phone is ringing, so she's absolutely shocked and distraught and a little bit embarrassed. And who should be on the line? First of all, she is going to kill her son because she realises he was there the night before and he's probably switched it on while she wasn't looking. And second of all, she's so embarrassed being in the hairdressers, having to answer a mobile phone, and she looks at the screen and sees that it's Edna. And that's all I'm going to say for now. So I'll just tell you a little bit about how my editing process and how I go on to edit this first chapter, and then I'll come back to you afterwards. During the editing process, I have a few books to hand, and one of them here is The Emotion Thesaurus. So, thinking more again about chapter 1 and Marjorie's embarrassment, what I wouldn't do is use this while I'm writing the chapter, but I would go back after I've written the chapter, which is what I'm doing now, and I'd make sure that I've used some of these physical signals to show how embarrassed Marjorie actually is. And the one I will be using, I've already used a few of these in my natural writing, but what I will be doing is adding this one. I've done it to some extent, but I shall be making sure it's a lot clearer. So slanting one's body away from onlookers or an aggressor, and in this case a woman in the hairdressers is jabbing her finger at Marjorie to try and get her attention, and Marjorie has no clue what she's talking about. But it's about the phone ringing, which of course would be a big embarrassment to Marjorie. There are other things, like it gives signs of being suppressed and all that kind of thing. I mean, obviously I don't use all of these, but just adding a little bit of interest and making sure that I'm showing rather than telling what how Marjorie is feeling or how the characters are feeling in a particular situation. So I find this book really useful. It's called The Emotion Thesaurus, a Writer's Guide to Character Expression. It's a 2nd edition. I prefer not to Google, or some authors nowadays are using AI to add these sorts of things to the writing. At the minute, I still like using the odd book. So that's all I've got for you in this video. I hope you enjoyed that little insight into the first chapter of Murder in a Care Home. And do come back again. Well, I'll invite you when I've recorded the next video. One thing I would like to do is ask you if you could please subscribe to the YouTube channel, because that helps me in the long run. I'll see you next time.